Hey everyone, this is Cano here. I'm a PC gamer and computer enthusiast, and I'm here today to show you how to update your BIOS and overclock your new Coffee Lake 8700K with a Asus Strix Z370E motherboard. First thing you gotta do is go to the website and download the latest driver. Then we're gonna go to Tools, Asus Easy Flash Utility. And then we're gonna pick via storage device, or you can use the internet to update it. Usually it has the latest one, but I'm using like a beta version of the BIOS. Click it out on my thumb drive. Press yes. Yes, and now it's gonna show that the process is processing. Take a little bit. Once it's done, it's gonna ask you to restart your computer. Sorry for the poor quality. I don't have a webcam stand to show my monitor or a capture card to actually capture all this, especially through the BIOS. So I'm using my mic stand to hold it up. Alright, so when you get to the BIOS, you press F2 or delete to get into the main BIOS. And it's going to come up to the easy screen with your fan. Tuning's underneath, normal. I like to go to boot options, boot configured, and change easy mode to advanced mode. I just like it that way. It makes it simpler for me. Disable full screen, make it boot a little faster. I'll start up, then save changes and reset. So we're waiting for it to restart to load up. You're gonna see BIOS screen again. You have to press F2 or delete. Now when it boots up, it's gonna be already in advanced mode. Okay, so now I'll go to AI Tweaker. You take your AI Overclock Tuner and you go to XMP mode. That's for you to put your RAM in the settings that it's the fastest. Okay, then you go to multi-core enhancement, you disable it. Leave AVX instructions to 0. I like to leave mine at 0. You can do a negative offset. It might make your overclock stable, but I like to get the max no matter what speed out of my CPU, so I'm not going to touch it. Okay, I'm going to change my core ratio. This is where you plug in a number to what you want your frequency to run at. You sync all cores. You change the first core to whatever you want. I'm not going to do 5.1 because I've already tested this CPU, but you might start off at like 5.0 and then work your way up. Power savings, you can turn that to performance or just leave it to auto. CPU SVID support, you disable it since you're overclocking. Then you go to Digi plus VRM to CPU low line calibration, and I would put it at level 6. What low line calibration does is whenever you put a load on your CPU, your voltage will drop for the workload. So when your voltage drops, that will make a unstable CPU overclock. So the higher the low line calibration, the less fluctuation you will have to whatever voltage you set for the V core. So I like it at 6. It doesn't give you a big overshoot, but it keeps you close to, like, let's say if you put it at 1.35, it won't go, it might go 1.34 to 1.355. It won't go very far in over and below. It keeps it very, very tight. That way your voltage doesn't fluctuate very high. That's good. Make a good stable overclock. I'm gonna go to integrated AI tweaker, turn on power management, disable speed step up. You want to max out your long duration package power and your short duration. Just put 5555, it'll max it out. You don't want to be lacking in any power to your CPU. And now I'm in Tweaker's Paradise. Just checking that. Now we're going down to CPU cache ring minimum maximum. You can change that if you want to mess with it. Might get you a little bit better overclock, but I'm just leaving it auto. Now I'm at CPU core cache voltage. This is where we put it to manual mode, and then this is the CPU override. You go from auto. If you're at 5.0 gigahertz, I'd start off at 1.35, but since I'm at 5.1, I'm gonna do 1.37. Enter that. And double check and make sure all my settings are set. So now I'm going to Q fan control. I like to set my manual curve for how hot it gets, and I like it to be pretty silent when I'm not doing any major task, and when I'm really pushing it, like encoding a video or converting a video file or running mining software. I like my fans to get up high, make sure I get good cooling. So now you just go to exit, and you're gonna save and restart your power overclock settings. That little part shows you what all you changed in your settings. You can kind of scroll down and see what all was different from the original. So we're waiting on our computer to overclock. Now, I've read a lot of forums and watched videos. The max voltage you want to put on an 8700K is about 1.45 volts. That's only if you have it delidded and if you have a custom water cooling loop and you keeping that sucker really cool. See, I have a custom water cooling loop. That's the only reason I can go up that high. My overclock is 5.2 gigahertz at 1.45 volts. Now we're in your OS system. I like to use a number of programs to test it. Hardware monitor gives you your temps, your voltages, so you can see if it's cool, if it's overheating, depending on your cooling. Gives you pretty much all the logistics or statistics, better word for it. But apparently my camera's not focusing right now. Alright, since I got my hardware monitor right, the best way to test to see if your system's stable first is to run a Cinebench R15 run. If it can do a complete pass without crashing, you know you're pretty stable for now. But that's the quickest way to see if your overclock's unstable, is to run the pass. Alright, so our pass was successful, 1666. So that's seems to be stable so far. We're just gonna exit out of that, and then we're gonna Get another program to test it. Or Blender. You run Blender. This one really stretches your CPU. If your computer crashes running Blender, then you know it's unstable. It's a very good program. You can check your temps, your voltages. Make sure you're not going up into the 90s. If you're in the 90s, you need to back down on your overclock and voltage. I'd say about low 80s would be the most I would personally want my CPU running. Oh, I think my system crashed. Yep, system crashed, so overclock wasn't unstable, so the overclock was unstable, so I need to restart it and adjust the voltage. So you add a little bit of more voltage and you come back and you run the same test, making sure if it runs or crashes. If it crashes, up the voltage again. Like I said, max you want to go is 1.45, but you also want to check your temps. Then the next best thing to do is take Prime 95 or OCCT or Intel speed test, I believe it's called, and run it for an hour, 2, 3, 4. 12 is better. Make sure it doesn't crash, and then you know it's stable. So right now I'm about to run Intel speed test, and what you do is you do the max settings to get the most heat, and you want it to run 2-3 hours, preferably to make sure you have a really good stable machine. 12 hours without crashing, and then you know the machine's stable. You can see the flame shows you if it freezes or not. But yeah, after you dial in your core clock and then you dial in your voltage, either you run this program, it runs for 12 hours, doesn't crash, then you know you're good, or it crashes, then you gotta up the voltage or go down in frequency depending on your cooling system. But I thank you for watching this video. This is my first video, and I just kind of wanted to share how to overclock on this motherboard with this CPU. I love computers, and pretty cool. 5.2 gigahertz at 1.45 volts is pretty quick for a 6-core machine. But this is Cano here with the Swamp Monkeys. I'll catch y'all later.